Hey guys, so today is the question video, and instead of past question videos where I've had a version of me asking the questions and a version of me answering the questions, I decided that this time I was going to keep the questions a secret from me before right now I'm going to read these questions for the first time and just give my immediate answers. No scripting, no heavy editing, just reading your guys' questions and having sort of a conversation, giving my answers. What's really neat is that the YouTube Studio app just has all of the questions right there, all of the published comments, so I get to scroll through and just read them one by one. So let's get going. Critic Corner asks, have you ever read any Doctor Who novels, and if so, what do you think of them? Yes, I really enjoy the Doctor Who novels. I feel that it gives more of a story to each Doctor rather than them just being around for a couple years and then moving on to the next one. Same with the comic series. I have some of the comics. I have a handful of the novels. If I was at home, I would show them to you, but I have ones dating all the way back to the first Doctor, all the way up to, I think I have one Capaldi one. I know I have a couple Smith and a couple Tennant and a couple of the other Doctors in between, but to answer your question, yes, I enjoy the Doctor Who novels. Maria Alvarez asks, what is your worst habit from childhood that you end up cringing about now? Okay, you're getting really heavy right off the bat. So this isn't actually normal thinning hair. I used to have like a bit of a widow's peak that came down to about here. When I was in grade school, I would have hairs that dangled in front of my face and I'd just yank them. I would pluck them out of my forehead, and I didn't realize until later that I was actually thinning out my hair much quicker than it would have normally. So I sort of did this myself as a kid. The hair was just there and I yanked it out to get it away because I couldn't keep pushing it back because it kept falling down. So younger me thought the solution was to yank it out, which was not a good solution. Arden Height asks, what is your top 3 favorite musical movies, not including Disney movies? Rent, Avenue Q, Sweeney Todd. Jordan Comics 979, what camera do you use? Well, what camera do I use? It is the Sony Handycam HDR XR260. So yeah. Mephistopheles asks, what are your favorite book, favorite author, and favorite genre? Do you read many books at all? I try to read. I don't have a lot of time to read, but I try to read as much as I can. My favorite genre, young adult and sci-fi, sort of, if that can be mixed, it's really amazing, like Miss Peregrine. Favorite author, John Green is up there. Favorite book? That's a hard one. Geek Love by Catherine Dunn. That's still my favorite book. Megan Edwards asks, blanket fort or pillow fort? Well, you can't have a blanket fort without structure, so I'm going to have to go with pillow. Snow Dreamer asks, what are your favorite Doctor Who episodes? I really enjoy the episodes where the Doctor sort of gets dark, but then pulls back from that. My favorite two-parter in the entire series is The Crash of the Byzantium with Matt Smith, where he takes Amy to another planet for the first time, and the Weeping Angels and all that. That's my favorite two-parter. That's the one that I showed to everybody to get them hooked on Doctor Who, and then I make them start with 9. Inkjen asks, with NaNoWriMo coming up, do you have any advice, encouragement for dealing with writer's block and overall intimidation about taking on such a huge project? Yes. Day by day, section off as much as you need to do for that day. I think it's 1,666 words per day, and that'll get you the 50,000 by the end of the month. I think that's the number. If it's not, don't quote me on that. But if you miss a day, then just redivide the numbers and figure out how much more you need to do. That way it will cut down on the stress of, oh my God, I need to do 40,000 more words and I only have 3 weeks to do it. Divide them up with the days and look at them in little bite-sized chunks. As for writer's block inspiration, what I like to do is give the characters sort of these subtle quirks, but then keep a notebook of their quirks, so that way if I ever get to a point where that character is in the story, I can think, well, can I add the quirk here? Like, can I, reference back to something that I did earlier in the story, or is that too busy? Another thing that I like to do is create things in the story that are stories themselves. There was a story that I wrote a few years ago where a character was reading a book in my story, so it was a book instead of a book. So I started elaborating more on the book instead of the book, and so the character was having a conversation with another character about the book instead of a book, so I was essentially writing two stories, but it gave me that much more stuff to write about. Ultimate Brandon asks, do you have a favorite meme? If so, what meme is it? Overly attached girlfriend and hipster Disney princesses. TARDIS Girl 11 asks, have you met any of your fans in real life? I've never actually gone out of my way to meet any of the people that watch me online, but every now and then I'll be at a convention and I will find someone who says that they recognize me from my videos, or they'll walk past me and sort of do a double take and then be like, oh, you're Travis, and it's still really weird and surprising for me, but kind of good. I mean, it's unexpected. It's still really unexpected. Zatoigo asks, Desert Island album? Well, if I'm on a desert island, I don't have power for the record player, do I? But then they go on to ask, Desert Island album? Cake. Get it? Ha! The Amazing Henry asks, are you going to be doing any more parody song videos soon? Yes. Very soon. Flaming Jellybeans asks, if you could only read comics from one company for the rest of your life, who do you choose? DC, Marvel, Image, IDW, etc. Image. They have the most creative stories pumping out all the time. I would never get bored. Even if I read something that I didn't like, there'd be something new the next week. Probably. Semite Fan 1 asks, what part of Ohio are you from? I live in west central southernish Ohio. I'm from northern Ohio, but now I'm sort of more near the center. Kind of around Columbus, but not in Columbus. Joseph Dieball asks, what is your profession? I usually work in retail. I'm very good at selling things. Mazadox asks, you gonna vote in this next election? I'm still doubting if I will or not. I'm going to vote, because it's very important to vote in this election. It's very important. Zoe Keating asks, if you could switch lives with any celebrity for a day, who would you choose and how would you mess with people around you? Britney Spears, because she's a big enough celebrity that I could probably do anything that I wanted to, but she's out of the limelight right now, so if I did something, it would probably make headlines, so that would be fun. My Urban Exploration asks, have you ever read the Dune books and or seen the movie? I have seen the movie. My first year in college, my roommate was obsessed with Dune. He kept getting me to try to read the book. I own the book. I haven't read the book, the first one. But I have seen the movie. Lego Studios 120 asks, are you going to see Shin Godzilla during its limited American release in October? I didn't even know this was a thing, but now that I know it's a thing, I'm definitely going to look into it. Mackenzie Wilson asks, what comic series do you like and will want people to read? Nailbiter, Chew, both of which are Image Comics, Spider-Man, because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Smart Lobo 93 asks, if you could afford it, what would be your dream vehicle? Well, those of you who have been watching every video this month know that I pretty much take anything that runs at this point. Andrea Baker asks, hey Travis, what's your favorite place in the world? I've not traveled the world. I need to travel the world. I've never even been across an ocean. The furthest I've been from my house is Florida, and the most north I've been is into Canada. Canada is beautiful. But my favorite place that I go to frequently is Kelly's Island. Katie128 asks, are you glad that WhatTravisTember is almost over? Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work doing a video every single day of the month, especially on those days when I just really do not feel like posting a video, but it's been nice, like, sort of getting back into the groove of posting every single day. It helps me rearrange my schedule, it helps me budget my time better, and it helps me be more creative in the things that I put out. So it's been helpful. Alright, that's it for this questions video. I hope you liked the conversational sort of feel of me actually talking to you guys about the answers to the questions that you asked me. WhatTravisTember is almost over. There's one more day tomorrow, and that's it. WhatTravisTember is done, and then we are going back to a more structured schedule. As always, my name is Travis. Thank you for listening to what I have to say, and you will see me tomorrow.